I think after listening to last week's episode, this requires a little more introduction for those of you who don't know who the hell I am. My name is John Staley, and I'm an alcoholic. I was one half of the wildly popular and mostly forgotten podcast A is for Alcoholic. I did with my dear friend Jerry Wagner Jr. for a while before he got burned out, and then I did it for a while before I got burned out. And through a series of different events, it feels pertinent to bring it back. I mean, it never went away, but there was a long time without any activity. One of the things that has happened is I was approached about doing a course, running a course, teaching a class on writing and recovery, journaling and sobriety. I have found it to be instrumental in helping me with a great many things in sobriety, writing every single day, almost every single day. And so it came to my attention that somebody needed my services. And so there will be a class, and it will be out there somewhere in the ether on the Instagram, and we will discuss it, and it will be available for a nominal fee to come and join me and go through some of the tips and tricks and advice that I have in getting started, in staying started, in continuing with it, and actually not only using it to help you with your recovery, sobriety, but also just to be a better writer. I mean, a lot of it comes down to just doing it over and over. You can ask anybody who's ever painted or ridden a skateboard. I'm talking to you. How you get better at something. But so these are just the things that occur to me that I'd like to share here for free. But there will be a 2-hour course coming soon, if not already, depending on when you're hearing this. So today I wanted to talk about gratitude and prayer, which in the program I'm in comes up quite a bit. And one of the first things many people in sobriety are asked to do is to come up with a gratitude list. And I think a lot of this has to do with not getting mired down in, oh my God, my life is changing. What have I done? And who am I? And it's easy when all your brain wants is alcohol to focus on and fixate on all of the awful things. So you may be asked by a friend, a mentor, a sponsor to do a gratitude list. And I think they're very good things. I think they're very helpful. I think there was a time where I got resentful toward having to do a gratitude list, that I had to find something, especially when I didn't feel like it in the morning. But it's ultimately a practice that I have used over and over every single day. It's how I start my journals now. I mean, I vacillate, and we'll talk about prayer here in a second. But the first thing I do is fresh page, gratitude is at the top of the list. And it changes from time to time, or sometimes it's the same stuff, and it doesn't need to be long. Sometimes my girlfriend's name, sobriety itself, coffee, birds, sunshine, health, any of those things, warm slippers on a cold day, whatever it is, write it down. So if it's 3 things, 4 things, 5 things, 6 things, it's really just an easy way for me to get started writing. When I stare at a blank page and think, what am I going to write about today? I can always find something to be grateful for. And again, it doesn't need to be a long list. It doesn't need to be a comprehensive list, although it's a fun exercise to see how far you can go with your gratitude list. And keep it simple. Keep it simple always. Don't try to overcomplicate these things with extensive language, words, sentences, paragraphs. It doesn't need to be that. You can be thankful for the color blue, or for sleeping indoors. And I think as we get older and as we get further in our sobriety, I know for me, I want to be grateful for bigger things. I want to set the bar a little bit higher than just sleeping indoors. And that's fine too, but it's also important to remember where we're at in this world and where a lot of people are not at in this world, both in recovery and otherwise. So I think gratitude is an important way and a very easy way to start the journaling process when you don't know where to start. So that's gratitude. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Now, the other G word, God, or, we're going to talk about prayer. So let's forget about God. And you say, well, how can we forget about God if we're going to talk about prayer? Good question. So I'm going to paraphrase from a book. Talk about, I don't recall exactly. But there's a book called The Book of Drugs by Mike Doty. And if you don't know who Mike Doty is, he is one of us as well. He was the lead singer of Soul Coughing back in the 90s. Soul Coughing was this band that was a lot of spoken word and poetry, a lot of that sort of beat poetry, funky beats and drums and jazzy. One of my favorites by far. Awesome stuff. I highly suggest you check out Soul Coughing and then his subsequent solo career, which Haughty Melodic was a great one. There's so many. Skittish, Rockety Roll. There's, which is Haughty Melodic, the purple one I'm thinking of? I think it is. That's the one that really tore me down and broke me. But anything by Mike Doty is really great and worth giving a listen to. This book in particular, The Book of Drugs, is a great read as well. And there's one thing in particular that I took away from it. We're talking about prayer. In the book, he talks about prayer and his difficulty trying to understand God, trying to understand prayer, this thing that kept getting hammered into him and suggested to him over and over and over again at meetings and through sponsorships and conversations about sobriety, and trying to find a way to make it work. They say, get down on your knees, put your wallet under your bed. So you have to get down on your knees every day and say a prayer to God. Well, if you don't have a God, it doesn't mean you can't say a prayer. In the book, in the story, the way that it made sense to him to incorporate prayer into his recovery was to write it down. And then it becomes maybe a poem, a piece of a song, whatever it is. And I was like, hey, I can do that. I can sit and I can write a prayer. And I toyed with who I was praying to. Oh, dear Creator, or the universe. And there's I'm sure there's a series of different people that I prayed to in all my past journals. And the one that I ended up landing on was just saying, Lord, not for any particular reason, not because of some connection to a Lord of any one kind. I still only have a vague sense of my higher power. But Lord just seemed easiest. And that's what it came down to, was convenience and ease. That it didn't really matter, that I didn't need to get stuck on the word or get stuck on the thing or get stuck anywhere. That wasn't where I wanted to get stuck. There's going to be plenty of places you're going to get stuck while you're writing. Let it not be at the beginning. So I would say, Lord, let today be a beautiful day full of bounty and wonder. Or, Lord, let me just manage to not drink today. Lord, let the sun shine and the birds sing. Lord, can you please fucking make it so that I don't hate myself today? So any number of those things. And I think of it more of an intention for the day, or just a kind of gives me a moment to think about what I want, what I might need, how I'm going to approach it. And it would often become sort of the topic sentence of my journaling that day. One thing I was told by my sponsor was pray for someone else. That's how prayer works. You pray for someone else. And that can be as general as, I pray today that my friends and family are safe and comfortable. I pray today for my mother, my uncle, my brother, my friends, whoever the specific prayer is for, or just in general. And I've done both. And I think that sitting there and having to think of something, again, you can call it a prayer, you can call it an intention, you can call it a call to action for yourself for that day, or even just for the few pages you're going to write. If you think of it as a topic sentence, then it doesn't have to be some weird godly thing that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you want to buck the system and challenge this and that, when really all we're trying to do is get a few words on the page for a few minutes during the day. So I think those two things are a great way to start, rather than staring blankly at the page with the pen on there. I would encourage you not to get stuck on the idea of prayer. Give it another name. Like I said, make it a topic sentence for your journal. Make it a intention for your day. Make it something that will make it easy to write. So I would only say that I just want to tell you to not be stuck, and not so early. There's going to be plenty of times you're going to be stuck. There's going to be plenty of times you don't want to write. And hopefully you get through that, and then it just becomes a thing that you have to do even when you don't want to do it, because your brain and your body won't let you not do it, which is where I'm at right now. So gratitude. Be grateful. Share what you're grateful for, and make that the beginning of your journal. Conversely, and I think that I will probably change it here soon, maybe on the next journal, go to prayer and just find something that you wish for. It can just be a wish. A wish, you're just throwing a coin in the well and saying, gosh, I really wish that I can make it through today without drinking. I really wish that my mom is happy and healthy. I really wish that the world was not so fucking insane. And wish in one hand and put the pen in the other and see what comes out. So prayer, gratitude. I will see you in class. Take care of yourself. Have a beautiful day.